So what I'm thinking to do is just first of all, I'll just chat with you about just remind you what we discussed before the last time, and then what I'll get you to do is as we go through the session, just ease your way into things. If something doesn't feel good, don't do it, or just do it very lightly or slow it down. And if you've got any questions on anything that we do, I can answer them at the end for you. So I think that will work best for us. Just as with our stretch classes and various others, if you can try and have your device in your line of sight, that'll be useful. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through large muscle groups to smaller muscle groups. That's the order you want to be working things in. So we'll start off with very simple basic techniques using the roller. I've got a full length roller, but you might have, as you have, Rose, a smaller one, maybe about half the size of that. In terms of diameter, you get all sorts of different diameters. I think yours is roughly about the same as mine, just when maybe ever so slightly smaller. Yeah, but that's good. In terms of density, that one looks to be about medium density that you have there. I'd say that's really good for starting out. You want either a light density, so it's very sort of springy when you press it, or medium density. You don't want to start doing this on a hard, firm density, because you'll probably never do it again. So ease yourself in with everything, just like in a regular stretch, and this does bear resemblance to a stretch class or stretch routine or stretch training. It does work in a similar way within your own physiology. And so, let me think what else to tell you about. I'll just talk to you as we go through, and like I say, if you have any questions at the end, you can just let me know, just ask. So I'm gonna just make this a bit bigger here, 1 second. And I think if I can focus here, then we should be good to go. All right. So what I did want to do is just pop a little background music on. Sometimes that can be a welcome distraction. So some areas of the body you're going to feel really instantly releasing, and it's quite calming and soothing and relaxing. And there's some areas of the body, maybe particular areas where we carry a lot of tension, that might initially feel uncomfortable, but then begin to feel much more relaxing after that. I'm just going to pop on some soothing sounds in the background. Oh, a couple of people are requesting to join. Oh no, weird. Funny little couple of little technical things today, but we're doing well. So you want to start off, you can use a mat or not, see what works best for you. What you're going to do is place the roller. So let's start off, first of all, let's work through our back. It's a really nice place to start. Lots of people have tension through their back. They also feel, it's an area that, well, it's nice to receive a back massage. And so you can actually give yourself a back massage with the roller. And so we're going to come down towards the mat, and a really good standard stance for any roller to do is to have your feet about hip to shoulder width, same with your knees, and bringing awareness to alignment. The other thing you really, before you begin, the other thing you want to focus in on is your breathing. You want to really think about that breathing technique, and that's going to carry you through all of the releases. So as we come down, you want to bring the roller about a third of the way down the mat, and then you're going to guide yourself in. Be careful the roller is going to slip away from you. You're going to guide yourself down towards the bottom of your rib cage. You're going to place your lower section of your rib cage on the roller. And from here, you're going to begin to pick up your hips at the same time as simultaneously bringing your head down to form a straight line all the way through your spine. Pick up your hips, use your pelvic floor muscles to help you there, and your abs. And then what you're going to begin to do is you're going to start to roll. So as you roll towards the direction that your toes are facing, the roller is going to move its way up your back. And as you do that, you might begin to feel, sometimes you can feel little pops or clicks, really satisfying releases of your vertebrae. Make sure that you're keeping your hips in neutral, activate your abs. And then when you get to the full range of where you can place that to before moving your feet, you're going to guide your feet outwards very smoothly. So you want to always keep this nice and smooth. You're coming all the way up towards your shoulders. When you get to there, we're going to roll back down again to where we came from. But this time we're going to roll double time, so that we're always rolling for longer duration in the direction of the heart. And then on the way away from the heart, direction away from the heart, you're rolling faster. It's just going to help boost your circulation and ensure that you're not restricting blood flow. From here, take a deep breath in, and you can begin to roll again. Of course, the other option would be to return your hips down to the mat again and rest through your abs. But if you feel strong through there, you can carry on again, rolling, and you could gently begin to walk your feet out in front if you feel you need a little more distance to pick up there. Coming all the way up towards your shoulders. And then when you get to your shoulders, you're going to roll back down again, double speed, all the way back down. So roughly about 2 centimeters a second is what you're aiming for there. You can do it slightly faster on the return, but on the initial action movement, you're going to stay about 1 centimeter a second. You're going to lower your hips here and just gently guide yourself up. Make sure to hold on to the roller so it doesn't roll away and you don't jar yourself. Coming back up. And just take a moment just to notice any changes, how that feels. You might not notice anything just yet. Sometimes it takes about 4 to 6 of those rolls before you feel anything, but just giving yourself an initial moment to rest through the abs, the back, the waist, rest through your legs. Now let's try that again. If that feels good, let's try that again. Now this time what we can do, we're going to do 2 more rolls like that, and then we can start to guide into specific sides of the back. So let me talk you through that in a moment. So you're going to come down, guide yourself, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to guide ourselves down over the top of the roller. Bring that in towards your low section of your rib cage. And then you're going to begin to use your pelvic floor muscles and your abdominals to lift the hips up in alignment, lower your head down, keep a nice straight line. I've got no tension in my neck there as I bring my hands just to help support my head. And then we're going to begin to roll. So the roller is moving up your back as you're rolling away downwards. You're rolling your body downwards and the roller automatically rolls upwards. You can bring your elbows up towards the sky this time. As you bring your elbows up towards the sky, what you do is you open up in between the shoulder blades. With the scapula out of the way, you can really begin to release into trapezius. Once you get up to the top of your shoulders, you're going to begin to come back down. Coming back down, remembering to breathe the entire time, taking deep, nourishing breaths in, breathing in. And each time that you roll, you probably notice that you get closer and closer in towards the bone as the muscle begins to release and rest and relax. Let's try that again. You can rest the hips if you feel to. Take a rest phase, or you can continue on. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to roll all the way upwards. So Doing 4 of those will take you through a warm-up phase of the muscles, and it'll take you into a releasing phase. So an initial release, you can bring the elbows up to the sky, open up through the back and up towards the shoulders. And then once you reach the top there, you can begin to roll back down. So this time we're going to rest. As we come down there, we're going to rest our hips, and I'll talk to you about the next movement through back. So make sure you take your time. And what this does as well is it releases individually each vertebrae. Let's return the hips, gradually returning head and holding onto the roller just to guide it and bringing yourself upright. Give me a big thumbs up if you feel good. Good. Amazing. And have a feel now. So that's 4 times that we rolled through the large muscles of back. Good, good. Okay, so this time what we can do is, you might find that you have particular areas of tension. I'm going to talk to you, maybe not in this session, but maybe in the next session, or certainly very soon, about if you have a particular point which is referred to on a massage level, people will refer to it as knotting through the muscles. Ooh, got knots. Oh, got such knots in my back or my shoulders. And so I'm going to soon share with you a technique that you can use the roller with to release knotting or knots, calcification through the muscle, dehydrated muscle, fibrous tissue. But for today, just leading us into that, let me talk to you about angling. So what we just did there was we rolled through the entire surface of the back, equal pressure on one side to the other, rolling spine, perfect alignment. So what we can do is we can actually angle our rib cage so that we can bring a little bit deeper pressure through one side of the body whilst resting the other side, and then we can reverse it and do the other side. So this can work really nicely into the larger areas of the back, round through your rib cage, and even into your rhomboids underneath your shoulder in here. So this can be really nice. And so as you do this, what's really, really important as you do any angling movement with the roller is you want to make sure that your alignment is good. So you want to bring your focus towards your breath and your alignment. Okay, so let's have a little shot. So we're going to bring the feet about apart. And we're going to set ourselves up just in a similar way to what we did a moment ago. So you're going to bring the roller in towards the low section of your rib cage. Just guide yourself down, and you're right in the center of that roller. Okay, and from here, you're going to pick up the hips, use pelvic floor muscles in your abs, lower down through the head, bring alignment through the spine. Here, bringing your hands in towards you to help you balance. And then what we're going to do is this one whole half of our body, we're going to angle it over. So you're going to, your hips and your rib cage. So it's not a twist through the waist, it's a lifting of the hip and the rib cage to bring you slightly onto one side, ever so slightly onto one side. So your spine is not connected with the roller. There's no contact through the spine and the roller here. It's literally your rib cage. And from here, you're going to walk your way down, walking your feet smoothly and gently. Breathe as you go. So it's like a fraction of a rotation, enough to lift your spine off of the roller And there you can continue to roll on top of your shoulder blade if that feels good for you. If that doesn't feel good for you today, you can stop just before that. And before you get to the shoulder, the top of the shoulder there, we're going to come all the way back down. Take your time. Take your time. You're going to feel perhaps some release of tense muscles there. Remember to breathe. Try not to bring tension to your neck. Coming all the way down towards the low section of rib cage. And from here, you're going to angle your whole body, hips and everything, back onto the roller so that you're straight. If you need to, you can take a rest phase here, lowering your hips down, raising your head up, or take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll all the way through the full length of back this time. This time we're connected on both sides like we did the first time. And bring that all the way back again. Down towards low back. And then this time let's bring our hips down, lift our head up, and just take a moment to come back to sitting, just to notice how that feels, maybe one side of the body to the other. Often you can feel very lopsided when you've just rolled one side and not the other. But it's a nice indication of what's to come. It's a nice indication of, wow, did I actually have that much tension? And so just kind of feeling your way into that and moving into that. And then if we're good to, we could try doing that same movement through the other side. Would you like to do that? So let's come towards the other side then. So we're going to come back with our feet about shoulder width or hip width and the knees roughly the same. You're going to guide yourself down. So you're guiding yourself down both sides of your rib cage, coming down to the mat. And on top of the roller. Lift your hips, use your pelvic floor muscles to do that. Use your abs and lower your head down. No tension through the neck. And then what we're going to do is we're going to angle. So we're going to lift the hip and the rib cage, no rotation through the waist. We're just going to roll straight through. And then start to journey the roller up your back as you walk yourself away. And I'm just checking in on you through the mirror there. And you're going to roll through the outside of your shoulder blade. You might feel a release through there. Bringing that up towards your shoulder. And then, in your own time, remembering to breathe, you can come all the way back again. Coming back down. All the way back down. Good. And when you get towards the base of the rib cage, you're going to angle your hips and your rib cage back into straight alignment. This time we're going to roll the whole body and bring your elbows upwards to bring the scapula out of the way if you feel to. Or you can keep the elbows out to the side. Do what works best for you. You might feel today only to roll through low and mid back. We might feel to work through the entire length of back there. Always being very, very cautious not to roll over kidney area. A couple of reasons for that. One is the kidneys themselves, and the other is that the spine is slightly weaker through there. Let's return the hips, return the head, come back to sitting. Already feeling looser, longer, leaner, warmer. It's a nice expansive open sensation I always find. So you could continue on doing that as many more times as you like. I don't really know that it's possible to over roll through your body. I haven't experienced that yet. And I guess the reason for that is because at the same time as lengthening and releasing on one half of the body, on the other half of the body, within that muscle pairing, you're also strengthening and toning. So where we've been releasing and relaxing our back right now, we've been strengthening and toning through our belly, through the abdominals, pelvic floor, through the chest. So you're building harmony the entire time. So that was a really lovely, simple, basic roll for your back. Now let's move on and look at another large muscle group. Let's look at the thighs. So we're going to roll through our quadriceps. So here we're going to form almost like a bridge position through our body. And we're going to bring the roller into play just above the knees. So you never ever roll through or over a joint. You always want to start the roll just above or just below a joint. So here we're going to come into that bridge position, about shoulder width apart from your hands. You're going to align your joints through your wrist, your elbow and your shoulder. Your elbows, you want to have them so that the bend would be coming down towards your feet. And we're going to lift ourselves up and position ourselves on top of the roller, just above our knees. Keep a nice straight spine. And you've got your feet and your knees about hip to shoulder width apart. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to lift our toes off of the ground, and you can come down onto your forearm. So you're going to use your abdominals here, really use your core muscles to assist you. And then what you're going to do is take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to start to roll about 1 centimeter a second all the way towards the top of your thighs. So as your body moves down, the roller moves up your body. Take your time, remember to breathe. And sometimes if you're rolling through a muscle that's been worked particularly well recently, you can feel almost like little level changes as the muscle begins to release. And you're going to roll all the way up towards your hips. Take your time, remember to breathe. Still keeping that alignment through the toes. And then when you get towards your hips, you're going to roll double time all of the way back down again. As your body comes up, the roller moves down. And you can walk yourself forwards on your forearms. Just keep it nice and smooth. Remember to breathe. And you've got good alignment all the way through your spine, all the way to the crown of the head. And you're going to stop just before you get above the knee. Take a deep breath here. And as you breathe out, you can begin to roll. And we're going to roll all the way. Again. And you can stop at any time that you need to, of course. You can stop and have a rest phase. Or you can carry on with specific areas that you feel, oh, that really benefited from that there. You can pause there and do more. And roll all the way. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to roll all the way back again. Take your time. This time, double time. You feel that releasing through there. You might notice the muscles begin to relax. You can consciously invite the muscles to release and relax. Be aware of perhaps some potential rolling of your femur through your hips. You might find that the body wants to avoid the roll, and so the feet turn outwards or inwards. Take a deep breath in, and if you feel able to and you want to, you can roll a third time here. And walking yourself down through your forearms. And you might feel that warming sensation through the muscles. When you get to the top towards the hips, you can start to come back. Coming all the way back again. Back towards just above the knee. And from there, to come out of this one, you're going to return your toes, and you're going to lift yourself up through your forearms, try not to collapse through your back, and then you're going to lift up your hips and your knees, and bring your knees down over the top of the roller. And from here, I like to do this lovely release here, and I kind of just rest my chin on the roller there. Open out. Different that feels. Sometimes you can actually see in the moment a change through the muscles. And just feel into that. It can be quite profound. And so you could continue that any number of times. I would say maybe you could do that another 2 times through there to get full benefit. But nice opening release. So the third muscles that I want to, the third and final group of muscles I want to work through with you today is your glutes. And this one I tend to find feels quite relaxing. It feels very soothing. Some of the other ones can feel a bit, oh, ow, ow, ow. But this one feels really, really soothing. So here, you're just going to be very, very careful that the roller isn't going to slide away from you. What we're going to do is lift our hips up, bring the roller in, and you're going to position yourself on top of the roller so that your hip bones are just off the edge. Okay, and you're going to sit up here, but make sure you bring your hands in towards the roller to guide it so it doesn't slide out. You want to stay firmly planted through your feet, and you're going to begin to roll. So here, it's almost like when we roll down one vertebrae at a time to the ground, you're going to roll through your hips. So use your pelvic floor muscles, engage through those muscles, engage through low abs, mid abs, and upper abs. And from there, what you're going to do is you're going to just roll, easing your way down. I tend to place one hand on the ground. And if you see in the mirror, I've got the other hand on the roller. And from there, begin to work my way towards the tailbone. And when I reach the tailbone, I'll come all the way back up again. So this is a roll throughout both glutes at the same time. And coming back upwards, let me demonstrate to you the hand on the other side. So I've got one hand on the roller, the other hand is on the mat. Use your abs and your pelvic floor muscles just to stabilize you. And you're allowing that roll through the hips to release through your glutes. Bring that back in to center. I always find this is quite an interesting muscle group. It should be the largest muscle group in your body. It should be the strongest muscle group in your body. I always find it interesting. It's the largest muscle group in terms of density and mass, but it's not the longest muscle group in terms of the distance that it covers on your body. And you consider something like your back or your quadriceps that we just released through as well. We think of those as being larger muscle groups because they cover more distance, but actually your glutes by volume are a larger group. So here, if you feel confident and stable enough, what you can do is bring your hands behind you, but I'm still active through my feet so that if the roller was to slide, it's not going to cause me to fall. And so you're going to roll through there. So next time, I'll show you how you can work deeper into the glutes, also pairing that with a hamstring release. Let's bring ourselves back upwards for now, making sure the roller isn't going to slide. Coming all the way up, I usually bring my other hand onto the roller as well, and then bring my feet closer, and I come into almost like a squat position here. Bring my weight forwards, and then I can roll the roller away. Ta-da! That's also a really nice release for your digestive system and recalibrating all the muscles of the body. Taking a deep breath in. As you breathe out, shift your weight forwards. And here we can begin to lift our hips up towards the sky, unwinding through legs, through hips, through low back, mid back, your upper back, your shoulders, your neck, and your head. And just feel into it. See how you feel now? Whee! Probably feeling softer, maybe lighter, maybe longer, more aligned. Yeah, nice and release. All right, I'll let you have a play around with that until next time. Let me turn this down. How did you find it?
Really good.
You like it?
Yeah, as I thought it would. It was tougher. Like the muscle uncomfortableness that you described was about what I expected it to be.
Okay.
Maybe more in certain areas than others, like as you would expect, like the tops of my thighs. Oh my, no, not the tops of my thighs, just above my knees, like the bottom of my thighs, the front.
Sure.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness! Like, see,
Yeah.
when you said to be mindful of your feet turning out to avoid it, I was like, oh, and then I turned them back in. I was like, oh! I was like, okay.
But, gosh.
Back felt really nice, especially with the elbows up, like to open up
Good.
through the scapulas. And I was just something else here as well with the oh yeah, it was harder work than I expected with the, like, I'm actually finding it the challenge being like what you're saying, keeping your core straight.
Yeah.
And kind of I was getting out of breath just from that more than the actual discomfort of the rolling.
Amazing.
It was more the out of breath of just trying to keep my hips up and
sure.
Strong, so it felt like a bit of a workout as well.
Yes. Well, this is what makes me fanatical about it. You know, it's not just releasing tension and all of the amazing things that it does on that side of things, but it's also, you're building harmony within your entire system. You're building balance because the muscle pairings are being worked the way they're intended to be worked. So you're all at once, you're reminding the body, hey, this area doesn't need to do all the work. And you're waking up the ones that are asleep, and you're saying, look, you can maybe have a wee go here. So it's really, really good. If you did find it tricky for abs this time around, and obviously off the back of things that we did already today, so let me just very, very quickly show you this one that you might like to do. It's one that I maybe showed you last week. I'm going to show you it this way, actually. And it's so, so simple, Roz, but you have to just be very careful when you come down. So you're just going to come down to about the center of your rib cage. And just sit there for a moment. You could totally starfish with that if you want to, or you can bring your legs together and point through your toes for an activation. But yeah, it's really nice and releasing for your abdominals, and it really opens up the front of your shoulders as well. So you can place that with it too. So I'll leave you to enjoy experimenting with that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. But yeah, there is a lot with this roller that you particularly, personally, are going to benefit from. Quite excited about it for you. Yeah.
I can imagine. I know. Like, we've both got particularly tight calves at the moment for whatever reason. I don't know.
Okay.
I still think it's. Could it be possible from that hike that we did on the beach, for 15-mile hike, which was like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It could still be causing that.
It could be that, yes. Yeah. Particularly if it's on a beach, because walking in sand, it has that extra additional impact. Yeah, it could.
It was 2 weeks ago. It was like, how have we got still tight muscles?
Funny. Well, the thing is, a lot of people hold tension in their calves anyway. Yeah. You think about your connection with the ground is through your feet, and then the muscle group. I mean, your feet is like practically all tendon and bone. The next muscle group you've got is the calf muscles. So it's a kinetic chain thing, and so most people hold a lot of tension in their calves anyway, and so so next time what I can do is I can show you a really nice calf release. I say nice, it probably we'll also be looking at some breathing techniques that are actually used in labor. And I'm not kidding. There is call for that within this. But the thing is, the first few times that you do this is the trickiest. It's the most uncomfortable that it's going to be, because you might have you could have 10 years of tension that has just been. I mean, I know that for yourself you enjoy regular massage, and it's very, very good for you. And so you probably wouldn't have quite as much as that, but you certainly have got, an accumulation of tension we all have between sessions. And so, but then afterwards, it's just about maintaining. And so you get more and more enjoyment out of it each time you do it. Yeah.
My thighs feel all gloopy now, like the front of them. It's weird. It's like there's almost no muscle there. I don't know if that's
funny, isn't it? It's funny.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. A little private
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. It's nice to be able to do that for you.
Oh, it's not quite the same as a lovely homemade essential oil massage, but I don't have to do any of the work at that point, but it's the next best thing.
This is it. It's a technique that's if we can make it available to you, let us do that. And it means that if you have got tension some days, you literally just pick it up, even 10 minutes, and you feel brand new again. Yeah.
No, it's a very clever thing. It's so simple, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
I've come quite attached to it already. A little bond going.
Oh, it's your new massage therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd said, I remember a while back, I think probably it was Isla I was chatting with, but they were saying, oh, you could put gemstones on it. Put rhinestones on it and bling it up.
Be definitely extra muscle releasing.
I know. All right. Well, yeah, enjoy some of those techniques. The main things to take away from today is focus on your breath, because if you're fueling the muscles as you're doing it, you're going to get even more benefit from it. You're also not going to notice so much if it is a bit, ooh, ouchy. So breathing, and the other one is alignment. If you're switched on through your core, everything else is really going to take care of itself if you do those other two things.
Okie doke.
Thank you. Perfect. Enjoy.
Thank you. I will. Enjoy the rest of your day too, and your cycling.
Will do. I know. And it's a nice day here, so yeah, that makes a difference.
Yeah, same here. Although it's got a bit cloudy now, but the sun was out earlier. It was roasting. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, well. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. See you soon. Maybe see you on Friday night. Bye.
Oh, that'd be awesome.